You know, every single day we tap, we click, we swipe on these incredible devices, but have you ever just stopped and wondered, what is the actual magic that makes it all happen? Well, that magic is software. It's the invisible force that brings our entire digital world to life. And in this explainer, we are going to pull back that curtain and demystify what software really is.
I mean, think about it. At its core, any computer or phone or tablet, it's just a bunch of plastic, metal, and silicon. It's basically just a box of circuits. So what is it that gives it the power to connect you with your friends or let you create amazing art or even run a business? Well, the answer, of course, is software.
I like to think of software as the ghosts in the machine. It's the set of instructions, all the programs and data that tells the physical hardware, the machine, what to do and exactly how to do it, step by step. Without software, your laptop is just a really, really expensive paperweight. It's the director behind the scenes, running the entire show.
Okay, so here's the thing. Not all software is the same. In fact, every single program, every app, every game you've ever used fits pretty neatly into one of two major families. And understanding this big division is really the key to understanding how your whole computer works.
And right here, this is the single most important distinction. On one side, you have system software. Its job is to run the computer itself. On the other side, you have application software, and its job is to run on the computer to help you do stuff. See that? It's just a tiny change in one little word, the versus on, but that makes all the difference in the world.
So let's start with that foundation. Let's talk about system software. The easiest way to think about it is like the manager of a huge, busy workplace, right? The manager isn't doing the creative work or making the sales calls. No, the manager is making sure the lights are on, the building is secure, and that everybody has what they need to do their actual jobs. It runs the hardware and provides the platform for everything else.
And who's the CEO of this whole operation? Well, that would be the operating system, or as you probably know it, the OS. This is the absolute most crucial piece of system software. It's managing your computer's memory, it's processing tasks, it's controlling all of the hardware, from your keyboard to your printer. It is the ultimate boss.
Now, the operating system doesn't work alone. It's got a whole team. So you've got the OS itself, the CEO, like Windows or Mac OS. Then you have language translators, which are absolutely essential for communication. We'll get back to them in just a second. And finally, you have utility programs. Think of these as the maintenance crew. You know, running antivirus scans, cleaning up old files, just keeping the whole system running smoothly. So I just mentioned these language translators, and it brings up a really interesting question. Programmers, they write software in languages like Python or C++, which, they look a little bit like English. But computers, they only understand ones and zeros. So how does that human-readable code actually turn into an action you see on your screen? The answer is that critical piece of system software, the language translator. These translators come in a few key types. You've got compilers. They're kind of like a translator who takes an entire book from, say, French to English before you ever read it. They create one single file that runs all at once. Interpreters, on the other hand, are more like those live simultaneous translators you see at the UN. They translate and run the code line by line as it's happening.
Okay, so if system software is the manager keeping the workplace running, then application software, well, that represents all of the specialist employees. These are your graphic designers, your accountants, your writers. They're the tools you bring in to get specific, user-facing jobs done. And these are the tools you know and use every single day. Seriously, whether you're browsing the web with Chrome, writing an essay in Google Docs, or exploring a virtual world in a video game, you are using application software to turn the computer's raw power into something specific and useful.
Now, even these tools can be broken down a bit. You have general purpose, sometimes called horizontal, applications. Think Microsoft Word. Pretty much anybody in any industry can find a use for it. But then you have specialized or vertical applications. These are things like an airline reservation system or a medical record software. They are designed for one very specific job. So we have the manager, that's the system software, and we have the specialists, the application software. But here's the thing, neither one can work alone. The real magic happens when they collaborate, and they do it perfectly. Let's see exactly how that works. So imagine you want to edit a photo. What's the very first thing you do? You double-click the Photoshop icon. That's it. You are interacting directly with that specialist tool, the application software. But Photoshop can't do anything by itself. So the first thing it does behind the scenes is send a request to the manager, the operating system. It basically says, hey, I'm going to need a certain amount of memory and some processing power to get this job done.
And this just shows you the manager's role perfectly. The operating system checks all the computer's available resources. It allocates what Photoshop needs, and then it gives it the green light to launch and actually show up on your screen. And just like that, the teamwork is complete. The specialist application made a request, the manager system provided the resources, and the result, your photo is open, ready for you to edit. Every single thing you do on your computer is just another little conversation between these two software families.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the CEO of your computer to all the specialist tools you use every day. So after all of that, what's the one big thing, the crucial point, you should remember from this whole explainer?
If you remember just one thing, let it be this. System software, the manager, is what makes the computer work. It handles all the fundamental stuff. But application software, the tools, that's what makes the computer useful to you.
And that leaves us with one final thought. You know, in the past, the line between the manager and the tool was crystal clear. But as our applications, our digital tools get smarter and smarter with things like AI, which of them will become so essential that we can't even imagine our computers working without them? Something to think about. I'll see you next time.